All right, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It's your man, Soul Toucha the Poet, with my brother.
So Lex.
It is the King and I Life podcast. And again, we are talking about women being single because they use the baby as a tool. And we were able and gracious enough, well, she is gracious enough to join us in the middle of this conversation. She goes by the name of Mama Keish, Lakeisha Hamilton. Say hi to the people.
Hello, everybody.
So yeah. So so Lex, I'll let you go ahead and, integrate it into the conversation, so to speak.
Okay. Basically, we are at that stage where we're talking about how uh, some women use antics and men use antics to basically use their child as, I'm not going to say as a form of weapon, but they do use the child to prove, who has the biggest stick and, who has more control and things along that line. Um, my point that I was making was, I think that when people do things like that, they really are immature. I think that to a certain extent, mentally, they really do have issues. I get the whole fact that you wanted things to go in a different direction, but at the end of the day, they didn't. So why are you using your seed basically as a ploy uh, in your scheme to hurt your ex?
Mm. Yeah, that's terrible. That's what people do. It's sad. They use their kids as bait because they can't get over it. Trying to hold on to something that's gone. That's what people do. Sad.
Yeah, that is one of them points that we made about the whole thing. People can't get over it. They're immature, insecure, and all kind of other nonsense that they've been going through. Um, yeah. Uh, at the end of the day, it's just like I don't. It's hard to understand why people would do that, especially to their child.
It is. I mean, again, like we were saying earlier, when you use, certain tactics, uh, again, we're talking about an example earlier where this female, she was basically belittling her ex right in front of their child. Um, Me and King was saying that we thought that was totally wrong of her to do that because, again, your child is seeing this, they're taking it in, they're not to the point where their understanding, is fully there just yet. So they're basically going off the information that is being displayed in front of them. So by a female belittling her ex, the child gets it in their head that, oh, so this is how it's supposed to be, so on and so forth. And again, that's a two-way street. So, I mean, in situations like that, you really have to be an adult about it. When you find yourself facing a situation where someone is trying to belittle you in front of your child, because there are certain people who will want to throw hands with you, and they ain't talking about no damn patty
Nah.
cake.
Sure.
They ready to go in there like Tyson and Holyfield.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that it's wrong for you to corrupt your child like that, behind your own selfish means or whatever it is you're trying to accomplish by doing that. Again, you're using your child the wrong way.
Yeah. So since you're on here, Keish, I want to double back to a couple of the questions that we already answered, so we can get your intake on it. Because as men, we can only give our opinion. So why do you feel women? Why do some women feel like this is an effective method to keep or get a man?
No, they think that the kids are. I mean, I feel like so many women, I guess they feel like they just can't get over it, and they use the kids, and that's, I don't know.
You know anybody that done that?
Did what?
Had use their kids as a tool to keep a man or get a man. Did you like have a conversation with them and ask them why they were doing it, or do you know why they were doing it?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, girl, get over it. Like, the kids ain't gonna bring him back. He's over it. Like, stop. Let it go. Not worth it.
Yeah, it's definitely not worth it.
Can you think of any time in particular, like a specific situation where you saw someone that you knew do that, and what were the details surrounding that situation?
No names though.
Yeah, we can leave the names out.
We leave names out.
What, a situation when
a woman or even a dude was using a baby as a tool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can think of an incident when the one person wanted to go out somewhere, and the kid's father was like, "Oh no, I'm not watching those kids. You ain't going nowhere." Like really, because he don't want her to go out. Like,
yeah, that's that immature thing where he's probably scared that somebody else gonna get her.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna get her that night.
Right.
But, anyway.
Somebody already got her.
Out there shaking that tail feather too much.
Yeah, man. I mean, but the thing about it though is when people, try to pull someone else back into a relationship using a child, I mean, that person's already gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing you can do at that point that's going to make them change their feelings. Okay, so you're being abusive not only to me, but to my child. You want me to change my mind and come back to that shit?
Or they want to try to come straighten up after the fact. Like, boy, bye.
Yeah. And the ones that come straight try to be up, like we was talking earlier, the ones who want to come and straighten up after the fact, those are usually the ones who sometimes don't even want to straighten up. They just trying to see if they can still get in.
Yeah, trying to get a piece of the juicy fruit.
Because they're under the impression that, well, you have my baby, I can always have you.
This will be mine forever.
Yep.
That's exactly how they think too. But what do you think this behavior comes from?
Where do you think that behavior comes from?
Insecurities. Maybe that's how they was raised, and that's all they know.
Damn, that's how they was raised. You know, we kind of said it like that, but we ain't say it as bluntly as that.
Yeah. We tippy-toed around it a little bit.
We really did tippy-toe around it. You know, I said maybe they saw it growing up. That's how they was raised.
Baby girl came in with the sledgehammer on there.
Break the whole building down. Man.
I said it's true.
Yeah.
They think it's cute. Some people think it's cute.
Yeah, we were saying that too. They do think it's cute. Because we were saying like people sit there and they do it and they friends be pumping them up and they just think that's the thing to do because they saw it on TV or they saw it somewhere else, and it's like, that's not cute, you know. Watch me make him do this, that, and the other. and dudes be like, yeah, I got her wrapped around my finger. Yeah,
She ain't going nowhere.
right.
I think it's all a game, man. I think it's all a game.
Like feelings get hurt for real.
Yeah, I get hurt. You call
And tell baby girl shut that all the way down.
Yeah.
So sometimes they'll play that game and they think that they're playing it so good that they're kind of blind to the fact that the other person is just playing along with them.
Yeah, that's one thing that we didn't even mention, and that happens. Like you out here, you think you got me dangling on the string, but I'm really plotting or watching the whole. I'm peeping out the whole scenario, and then you're not gonna like the way it plays out at the end of the day. You think you got me on the yo-yo going back and forth.
Yeah. You think you got it going on. You
That's
got
not
all
cool.
bases covered. And then at the end of the damn game, you look up and you look at the damn scoreboard and that bitch say 0.
Yeah.
What? But I hit it went over the fence. But yeah, it didn't count. It was a foul ball.
Yeah, that's a foul ball. You went down the line, but down there just went over the line.
Yeah.
It went in the wrong direction, bro. But for people who play these psychological games, I mean, in your opinion, do you think is mentally and emotionally abusive?
Of course. Absolutely.
In situations like that, though, they're not stopping to think about the long-term effect of what it is they're doing. They just see their short-term goals and what it is that they want from the situation, not realizing that you're scarring that person just that much more. So once this situation is over with you and the BS that you're taking that person through, they really have to stand up and dust all that BS that you put on them off. They are the ones who have to put the puzzles back together without your assistance.
Yeah.
And because now they have this child, in their life, not only do they have to be strong for themselves, they have to be strong for their child too.
Yeah.
So they basically have to carry damn near double the weight. I mean, yes, this is a child, but at the end of the day, the person who is trying to make things happen in the right way, whether that be the male or the female, mentally, they have to fend off that BS that they've just gone through with you, and they have to be strong for their child, not only, for themselves.
Yeah. I think one thing that we didn't mention though was, how people play these games, and when it comes to family, they usually only get one side of the story, and that's that one parent side of the story. They may have created a situation to where that other parent may not be welcome or may not feel comfortable coming around the family, and that child is not in a position to where they can say, hey, well, mom or dad is acting crazy doing this and doing that. So you have the family who is, oh, I'm team you because you my family, and still that child is in the middle, and some people just don't know how to have adult conversations around adults, and the child is ear hustling or just in earshot of the conversation, and that child gets further manipulated by that ignorance.
They damn sure do. I mean, the thing about it is, kids, when they're stuck in the middle like that, and the two adults can't communicate. Not to throw a friend of mine under the bus, I'm not doing that. Again, not saying his name, but he got to a point where him and his baby mother could not talk because she was just so damn disrespectful, talk to him all kind of crazy.
Wow.
So what he did was he was like, you know what, let me fall back from now on, I'm going to deliberately communicate to you through our child.
Mm.
And that's really sad that he had
It
to
is sad.
do that. But that was the only way he could effectively communicate with her without it going a way of, her being disrespectful towards him. And he was like, I'd rather not talk to you the way you talk to me in front of our child.
Mhm.
So to, X that out, anything you need to say to me as far as like what bills need to be paid concerning him or what you need me to do to help him, tell him, and he will tell me. And I will do the same for you.
Mm.
And
That's
that, yeah, that was some years ago. And I think his son is like 16 now, I want to say.
Mm.
And he's still going that route. I mean, like I said, that's truly sad. But I think at the end of the day, there has to be some sort or a level of respect there.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. That's a heavy burden to put on a child though.
It
Um,
is.
that child is not having the full ability and room to be a child because this child has to deal with these adult issues that really is not, to a degree, not his business.
No.
He shouldn't have to play the peacemaker to people who are twice his age.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible.
He shouldn't have to negotiate between two warring nations. You know,
Basically.
he shouldn't have to deal with that stress, that anxiety, and all that causes mental problems all the way around. And it's sad that these adults are incapable of taking that into consideration.
Yeah. Like again, I understood why he did that,
Yeah, definitely understand why he did it.
but again, speaking for the child, that's hard when a child has to basically carry on this adult conversation, like you say, between these two warring nations, when it shouldn't have to be that way. I mean,
Mm.
I'd rather you just goddamn communicate through a fucking email. If it's like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or a text
Mhm.
message, something like, come on.
Shoot me an email, text message.
Mm.
I mean, I can't say I noticed a change in his child, where his child is, not a good kid. Because in
Hmm.
my opinion, he's a real good kid, real
Right.
good kid, real sharp.
Hmm.
So I guess the conversation kind of helped him out, to a certain
Right.
extent, that he knows how to handle adults,
Hmm.
even though he's still a young man.
Yeah, and the thing about it, some kids they can mature faster in that, and they find a way to deal with it, block it out, or cope with it, so that it doesn't really affect them in certain ways. But some kids ain't built like that where they can handle that.
No, they're not. Yeah, sure ain't. Especially in this day and age.
No, definitely in this day and age.
Mhm.
They go on social media and talk about they want to commit suicide and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Or see
man.
their parents for not giving them their STEMI.
Mhm.
Did you say sue their parents? So wait.
So yeah, somebody said it.
Wow.
Yeah,
So-
kids are crazy.
They
Mhm.
are. This one right here, this one y'all gonna have to forgive me,
No.
because this one is I'm trying to stay professional about this, but
Oh Lord, here we go.
why are some men in these situations so quick to give up on their children, as opposed to making sure the woman is held accountable? And I'll let you go first now.
Yeah, we gonna let you go first on that.
Not me.
Because we need a woman's opinion
So
on this.
wait a minute. Say the question one more time.
Why are some men in these situations so quick to give up on their children, as opposed to making sure the woman is held accountable?
because they only thinking about one thing.
What's that?
The cookie.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
I mean, I don't know. Mm.
I mean, my thing is this, right? Um, when a man gives up on his own kids because he can't deal with the stress that his ex partner is giving him, she really putting that gas to his ass, as they say. Um, I get you want to give up, but I be goddamn if I'm gonna give up.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing more important to your legacy than your seed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a damn how much bullshit you gotta go through, man. And I know, I could say that, and some people might say, yeah, that's easy for you to say, but no, that shit is not fucking easy for me to say. Because I've been there. I have relatives who I've seen go through that fucking fire, cause
Mm-hmm.
of watching their father basically abandoning them because they couldn't get along with the mother.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's the biggest horse shit, excuse me, people, I've ever seen. Your child is the most important thing. It's the most important thing you can give to this world to me, because that's a better version of yourself that you had the potential to make.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, this child did not ask to come here. This child didn't lay down on the night that he was or she was conceived to be here. Y'all did that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Selfish.
all those things that child is missing out on because their father or their mother is not in their life, man, come on. That's
But the
I,
one thing you gotta look at, a lot of these dudes don't think about if they are giving up on their child. They look at it as, some of them look at it as they're not good enough, and it's not. I'm not giving them an excuse to cop out on the situation, but um, a lot of them, they just don't have the backbone or the knowledge, or the right people behind them pushing them. But that's your seed. You should not need anybody to push you, or you shouldn't even need anybody behind you. Yeah, it's good to have people to support you in that effort, but um, some of them, and now some of the ones that who do give up on their child, they just don't give a damn either way. And you can usually see it in their face. You can see it in their actions. You can see it in their everyday life that they just don't care. And for people like that, I just have no sympathy, because and people can say to me, "Oh, it's easy for you to say." No, it's not easy for me to say. It's just a matter of you fighting for the right. You fighting the right fight. You're making sure your child is knows who you are, and knows that you're there, and stop backing down and not making sure that woman is held accountable, because at the end of the day, if you keep allowing this behavior to persist, you might well be an accomplice in the nonsense. um it's nothing to go down to the court and be like, you know what, if I can't reason with you, have an adult conversation with you when it comes to this child, I got to do what I got to do. And if you don't like it, you just don't like it. um Another thing that uh, a lot of these dudes, mainly dudes in this situation, that they don't take into consideration is you have the ability to keep receipts, meaning text messages. You can record her in her nonsense. That way, you build your case against the nonsense. So there's no, especially today, there's no reason why you should be giving up. And at the end of the day, if you can't handle the situation, then neither one of y'all should have laid down and had this child.
Exactly.
True.
Again, the thing about it is this, right? I totally get that some of the ex-partners can be a real distraction, to put it kindly.
To put it kindly.
But at the same time, man, you just gotta do what you gotta do to keep it real with your child.
Yeah.
Meaning, if that means you only communicate with your child, communicate with your child.
Mm-hmm.
If that means you have to meet your child at your mama's house or at your ex's house, parents' house, whatever's necessary, to get around that situation. I know it can be difficult, but again, like Soul Toucher was saying, if you have to go to the court system, then goddamn, so be it.
Right. No,
At the
hopefully
end
you
of the
don't
day-
have to go that far.
Yeah, no one wants to do that. But at the
Right.
same time, I think that there are so many kids in this world right now who could have been on a better path if they had known their father figures. And again, I'm not, throwing in dirt on anyone. Please believe that. I'm not trying to shame anyone. But I do believe that having a father figure or mother figure in your life is truly important.
Mhm.
Not everyone's gonna have the best relationship with their mother or father.
Right. Yeah.
History clearly tells us that. But I'd rather have somebody in my life who at least tried or is trying than someone that says, you know what, hell with it.
Right. Yeah. Because that's pretty much how I grew up. Like I said, I didn't meet my father until I was 25. So I couldn't be used as a tool to anybody. But yeah,
Mm.
a child needs both parents, or at least one strong parent who has enough common decency not to create that using the baby as a tool atmosphere. Because even if that other parent is around, people use their children as tools. They'll put down that other parent. It doesn't matter if it's the mother or the father who's not around. A lot of people will manipulate that child into believing that other parent, to put it bluntly, ain't shit. And then they'll grow up thinking that, they'll grow up feeling that, they'll have a lot of animosity, they'll be bitter. It creates all type of emotional and mental baggage that should not even be there, when instead of using that child as a tool, you should have been nurturing that child and teaching that child that unfortunately things are like this, but it's not your fault. If things were different, some kind of way to make that child feel like they're appreciated, instead of the parent or the parents presenting this toxic environment.
Exactly. I mean, again, you don't necessarily have to like the ex person. You know what I'm saying? You guys ain't gotta get
Exactly.
together and sing goddamn kumbaya and shit. But
Yeah,
there has to be some type of level of respect.
yeah, it has to be.
And if you can't respect the other person, at least respect your own child, your own seed enough to say, you know what, that I'm gonna put to the side, because at the end of the day, my child, my seed, my future in a sense is
Deserves
going on.
better.
Mhm.
Yeah, they definitely deserve better. And let me take my ego out of this and
Hmm.
put my best foot forward to ensure that this child gets the best that I can give them.
Exactly. Because that's at the end of the day, that's what matters the most.
It is. It definitely is. I just think that walking away from your child altogether.
It's terrible.
It is. I mean, I get not everybody's a great parent. Not
Right.
everybody's meant to be a damn great parent, but damn, put
Half
some
the people,
effort into it.
half the people out there ain't meant to be a parent. Period.
Yeah,
Mhm.
man. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-mm-mm.
So, what legal ramifications should be put in place to prevent this?
I don't even know if there are any legal ramifications that could be put in place to prevent this, unless unless you put a chastity belt on people and or make it impossible for them to have kids until they go through a psych exam and uh pre-parenting classes and you know, all of that psych evals. I don't they I think it would take too much time, too much money, and too many resources to prevent this from happening. Let's just say two people go out and have a child. Okay. Now, when you have this child, there's literally nothing that the court can do or anyone can do unless one or both of these prop people go to the court and fight for custody or fight for child support or this, that, and the other. Now, just to be far reaching out in the atmosphere, if people were forced to marry the person that they got pregnant, if they were forced to be married with them for 5 years, if that was even remotely possible, I think people would think twice before they went out and tried to repopulate the planet.
That's that's an interesting topic. I mean, let's think about that shit now, right? If you were forced to be with the person that you made a child with for the next 5 years, would you still allow yourself to produce a child? Damn it, man, that's a good ass question.
I think a lot of people would really rethink a lot of the things that they do and the way they go about it.
I agree.
Yeah, because you go out there and you think you got the baddest thing on the planet, or your mentality is, I don't want nobody else to have her, so I'm gonna get her pregnant. Or her mentality is, oh, this is my man. He think he gonna be out there with these other chicks, I'm gonna get pregnant. Well, hey, we got a baby on the way. We got to be together for the next 5 years of this child's life, starting when the child is born.
And if not, what? Jail time?
Jail time.
That would be too funny.
Either I think jail time would be reasonable, or you pay a fine, or you get sterilized.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's extreme.
It is extreme.
Your shit cut.
Yeah, you get sterilized.
No.
So that way, you might want daddy's little girl, or you want that's my boy. But you got such and such pregnant and you just ran off, so you get sterilized. So now you have no more options to get daddy's little girl or that's my boy.
Well, I will say this. Back in my younger days, to prevent having such situations, I would double the hell up on my condoms.
Really?
Yes, there are a couple of them I put
Are you
3
serious?
on.
3?
Oh my
bullshit
goodness.
you not, man. I bullshit you not. I'm like, that. Not
How
having
did
no
you
baby with this
feel
nigga.
it?
Exactly.
Enough. I felt it enough.
Hell no.
And plus it helps
Wow.
you not bust so fast too. So
Oh
there's a
my
benefit to it.
God.
There's a benefit to it.
Look, if I
But
buzz fast, I got buzz fast. We gonna try this again another day.
Oh my goodness.
I hope you're gracious enough to give me another opportunity.
hey man, hey. Sometimes you don't get another opportunity. You gotta go in there,
Hey.
Gotta
all
get it when
guns
you can get it.
blazing. Hell yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
Oh my
That is
goodness.
funny.
But I will say this, man. Again, on my opinion earlier about a man raising his son, that's no way in regards to disrespect any female who's raising a son. There's no disrespect as far as her raising her daughter. Again, for me personally, I would just want my son in my household full time. And again, not trying to take him away from his mother. But when he gets to a certain age where he starts smelling himself, and you know what I'm talking about as far as that talking back and being disrespectful to his mother, at that point it's going to be harder, I think, to control him. And again, you want that type of leadership with your child to come from his father. And again, like I said, no disrespect for any woman who's raising a male in her household. I know you're doing the best you can, but again, I just think that a father's influence is very important to a young man. And that's how I'll leave it. Again, no disrespect to any female.
I would have to say, in regards to this topic, although that would be ideal, I don't always think it's necessary. Because again, I didn't meet mine until I was 25. I can only recall maybe one or two times where I snuck talk back to my mother. I was never bold enough to talk back to my mother because my mother would put hands on me. So that was never an issue. Um, I do feel like a father needs to be present if he's mature enough to be present. And again, that's going back to this topic, using the child as a tool. If the father isn't there, 9 times out of 10, it was probably well, a good part of the time, it was his choice not to be there. Well, shoot, from the conversation that we was having, we'll say the majority of the time, he chose not to be there. There are slim situations where the female's the problem, why he's not there. But at the end of the day, if you are a man of your principles, you're a man about your child, you'll be there.
Right.
But there have been great men who have been raised by just the mother.
Exactly.
I think for us, we look at it that way because of the historical breakdown of our family structure. I think that's why we look at it that way.
It definitely has a influence on my view.
Yeah.
Like I said, for the majority of the time, my dad was gone.
Right.
And I wished there were a whole lot of times he would have been closer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I wish that my mom didn't have to play the role of both parents in a lot of situations. But again, there's definitely nothing wrong with a female raising her son. Of course, she's going to do the best she can. She has to play both sides of the coin, as they say.
Yeah.
There are going to be a lot of times where she doesn't want to have to play the male role, but because it's necessary and is needed, it's kind of like she has to carry that weight, even though she might necessarily not want to.
Or it's not even her weight to carry.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of females, they do have that inner strength that they did gain from their father. They are able to effectively raise their sons. They're able to put a foot in his ass when necessary. Yeah, man. I I
Yeah.
remember I would talk back to my mom, but only in my head.
Exactly. And
Like,
yeah. And you know, even though, you know, in our generation, we dealt with being used as tools, pawns, toys, or whatever the case may be. But you know, again, it was a different time. We didn't so much get out of hand um, when it came to that, even though we wish our fathers would have been around. Um, but I think more so after our generation, you heard more women being outspoken, talking about, oh, he ain't shit and this, that, and the other.
yeah.
And you know, seeing women use kids as tools is this, that, and the other. And it's like, it's just sad that they did that, because then you have a whole corrupt generation who take it to the next level. And now you got kids who don't have a whole goddamn clue at all. And they're just tools. And they're growing up to be tools. They're growing up to produce tools. And it's like, at what point does this cycle get broken? It can't keep going on like that. It just can't.
Nope. It's not leading us anywhere except for in the same damn circle. And that's the thing that we as people in general don't give a damn what your race or nationality is. We as people, we need to cut that shit out.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
thing that really bugs me out about society, right, is we're still seeing people being killed. We're still seeing people being murdered. We're still seeing people doing the same dumb shit they've been doing for hundreds of years. And I'm like, now if we've been doing this shit for hundreds of years, at what point do we as a people stop doing the same goddamn thing?
Yeah.
It blows my mind, but
Mm-hmm. And you know, another thing about that is a lot of these kids who are used as tools oftentimes end up being delinquents in their throughout their lives, because they don't have the mental capacity to get it together, so to speak. Um,
right.
like for instance, me, you know, I didn't grow up with that being used as a tool, but to that extent. But at the same time, it's like I had to deal with a whole bunch of nonsense, you know, and I saw a lot of nonsense, you know, with my mother and her husband, who was my stepfather, that I don't think I should have seen. Now, I didn't turn out bad, but you have kids who can't cope with this madness, and they exhibit certain behaviors out in the world, and then they either end up getting locked up or killed. And the first thing that the mother is doing, she's in all on the floor crying and having fits, this, that, and other. But it's like, why are you doing that? You didn't have that same emotion when you were using your child as a tool. You weren't
Yeah.
having that same emotion when you were doing all these things that push this child out in the street. And the same with the fathers. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you mad at the world because your son got locked up or got killed, but you was playing these games with his mother. You were putting this child in these little messed up situations, and now your child is in jail or dead, and you want to blame everything else except for looking inside where it should have been put in check. You should have fought for your child, both of y'all. Y'all should have amicably raised this child without the nonsense. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Not at
No,
all.
none. Like again, we're just talking about this topic, and we want people to just take a minute and really think about this. You know, when you're in a
Yeah,
situation like that, uh, put your child first.
yeah,
You know, just take your damn ego out of it. You know, it is what it is. You can't make somebody love you if they don't love you.
you sure
Exactly.
can.
You know what I'm saying? You can't make them feel some kind of way about you if they just don't feel it. So
Yeah,
set that to the side and put your seed first.
yeah.
hmm
You can't guilt them into it. Like, come on, man. You trying to
Mm-mm.
guilt somebody into coming back to you just because you want to use the child as a tool? Come on, man. What are you
Mm-mm.
doing?
Yeah. Gotta get past that. As people in general, we gotta get past that.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
But once again, we want to thank our special guest.
Oh, anytime.
Yes.
Please come back and join us for another episode. Maybe next
Alrighty.
time we can see your face.
Hey, right.
Alrighty. Sounds good.
Yes.
All right, cool. So thank you everybody for tuning in to the King and I Life Podcast.
Once again.
Yes, sir. We truly enjoy being able to share information with everyone. You know, this is really something me and King had talked about earlier. It brings us joy to be able to have this podcast and this platform that we can share with everyone, and you know, have people come on and share their life views.
Oh, yeah.
Opinions.
Mm-hmm.
So again, tune in to Facebook, tune in to YouTube, hit that like, share, and subscribe though.
Yes.
And
And hit that bell
on
notification so you get the notification when we go live.
Mm-hmm. And on
Alrighty.
Instagram. And once again, we you know, I gotta say,
Yeah,
we
so
bringing y'all
silly.
something now. We bringing you something. We working on it.
We working
will
on
not
Patreon,
BS
damn
you.
it. We are working on Patreon. And we got some
Yes,
other
yes.
things in mind as well.
Yep.
Okay.
So
But yes, definitely email us at kingandi369@gmail.com. That's KINGANDEYE369@gmail.com. Almost messed it up.
I saw that.
I
But you did
know.
well. You did well.
Oh,
Good night, ladies
man.
and gentlemen, and we'll see you next time.
Yes.
Alrighty. Have a good night.
All righty.
Peace.